Ideally located between the continents of Africa to the south and Asia to the north, and fringed on the west by the Mediterranean Sea, is the small state of Israel. It is about the size of New Jersey. Israel is bordered by 4 Arab states. To the north, Lebanon. On the east, Syria and Jordan. And to the west, Egypt, the United Arab Republic. On its southern tip is the Red Sea. Palestine is rich in the history of its ancient people, the Jews. The Tel of Hazor is a vast mound under which many civilizations are buried. On this Tel, amid the ruins and relics of these ancient civilizations, signs mark the times of the judges and King David. King Solomon's copper mines by the Red Sea, the charred remains of the vast ovens worked by thousands of slaves, and chunks of the smelted copper are still clearly visible. King Solomon's pillars stand as silent soldiers of the past. History also records the epic struggle of the Jews to hold their ancient homeland. Palestine was repeatedly invaded through the centuries, first by the Egyptians, then by the Philistines. The Assyrians attacked several times. Later invaders were the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantines, and the Arabs. The Crusaders sought to regain the Holy Land, but the Egyptians overran it, and then the Turks. Many traces of these invaders still remain, such as this Roman amphitheater by the Mediterranean, and this stone aqueduct, also built by the Romans. Masada is the site of the last stronghold which held out against the Romans. 960 Jewish defenders finally killed themselves rather than fall into Roman hands. There are also traces of the conquering Crusaders, like this 12th century Crusader Castle, and this old Crusader wall, and barely protruding through the water, an old Turkish wall. The Tower of Ramallah, built in the Middle Ages, is a monument of the Arab invaders. Another is the Jazzar Mosque, pointing to the Islamic faith of the early Arab conquerors. By the 19th century, the scattered Jews were beginning to trickle back to their homeland. Yemen Moshe, outside Jerusalem, was the first Jewish settlement. Its windmill was a landmark of hope. But the story of modern Israel really begins at the end of this path, which leads to the tomb of Dr. Theodor Benjamin Herzl, the prophet and father of the nation. He forecast the state of Israel 50 years before its birth. Today, crowds visit his resting place, which stands on the highest spot overlooking Jerusalem. In fulfillment of his vision, Jews have streamed into the nation from 70 different countries and many diverse cultures. Never have so many people come together from so many nations to create a unified country in such a short span of time. This impressive growth has resulted in severe growing pains. Among them, the problem of education and orientation. The problem is being met in part through a school for new immigrants. Over 13,000 students have gone through this school since 1949, under the guidance of Dr. Mordecai Kenrab, the founder, and his dedicated assistants. Arid land is another one of Israel's pressing problems. Israel is relatively poor in natural resources. The lower 60% of the country is the Negev desert. However, arid land, such as this wild expanse, can be quite fertile when it is irrigated. The principal sources of water are Lake Hula, the Sea of Galilee, the Jordan River, which empties into the Dead Sea, and the Kishon and Yarkon rivers. The enterprising and resourceful Jews, using these sources of water, have built up their industry and a vast irrigation system to bring water to the thirsty land. Water is pumped to these long tanks and then directed through a series of sluice gates and deep ditches or irrigation canals to the point of need. Out of the Sea of Galilee flows the River Jordan. Beside the banks of the Jordan, a pumping station carries water to the arid south. The Kishon River empties into the Mediterranean, but a pumping station carries its water to this valley. Water from the fountainhead of the Yarkon River is piped southward to the Negev, a distance of 65 miles, helping to transform its vast desert lands into productive farmlands. Barren land by the Dead Sea is being converted into productive land by water pumped from David's fountain. All the land needs is water. Water pumped from wells to irrigate these orchards is reclaiming the dry Judean hills near Jerusalem. This once barren soil is now producing cotton, one of Israel's important crops. On this field alone, there are 258 acres of cotton being harvested to help clothe the nation. Water has helped turn acres of barren desert into extensive vineyards and luscious orange groves. These fruitful fields and productive plantations are the result of another amazing reclamation project of national scope: the drainage of the malaria-infested swamplands surrounding Lake Hula in northern Galilee. In still another national program, the Judean hills are covered with millions of new trees. It is the plan to encircle Jerusalem with a forest. Near the Dead Sea, the lowest spot on the surface of the globe, Israel reaches the high point in her national program of progress. Utilizing all the tools of technology and modern machinery, engineers are transforming the Dead Sea into a living sea of activity. Huge plants are reclaiming and processing its wealthy deposits. Loaded trucks transport the potassium, magnesium, and other minerals from the Dead Sea works. Significant underground reservoirs of natural gas and water have also been uncovered and are being efficiently exploited. The land reclamation program at Sede Boker is a daring project of national development. From the most varied backgrounds, young men and women, moved by a common cause, work together in the community kibbutz to reclaim the Negev desert. A kibbutz is a large communal settlement in which all members live and work together on national land. They are the real secret behind Israel's rapid development. This is a typical kibbutz settlement. Members generally live in housing such as this. These cooperatives often include extensive farming. With the aid of modern machinery, large tracts of barren land are fertilized and brought under cultivation. When the soil is thus enriched and cared for and well irrigated, it isn't hard to predict the results. Once barren soil begins to yield large, lush crops to feed the growing population. In many of these settlements, hay is grown as fodder for the cattle, which are raised for meat and dairy products. And of course, the machinery has to be maintained. In other settlements, guest houses sometimes help to fill the communal purse and provide an outlet for some of the farm produce. The pool serves both guests and kibbutz families. This cooperative kibbutz houses the military youth who defend the border at this outpost. On holidays, the youth may work together in their garden, but these able-bodied young men and women have a strong national spirit and can never forget the enemies poised on their borders. Danger, frontier ahead, no man's land, deserted buildings, and barbed wire. There are many other reminders of this continuing threat, such as this border with Jordan, showing the walls of Old Jerusalem on the Jordan side, walls which say, "Stay on your own side." The Davidka Memorial, commemorating the only artillery piece available in the 1948 defense of Jerusalem, reminds the nation of the need to be watchful and strong. Israel has several important cities: Accra or Akko, Haifa, Nazareth, Tel Aviv, Ramallah, Jerusalem, Be'er Sheva, and Eilat. The city of Eilat by the Red Sea on the southern tip of Israel is the gateway to the African continent and the Far East. This thriving city, founded in 1950, has excellent hotels which have helped to make it a popular seaside resort. Many apartments have been built for the flood of newcomers. Work at the new King Solomon's copper mines near Eilat is impressive. Trucks unload the rocks which contain the copper ore. This is an immense, busy refinery. The giant vats are a part of the copper processing operation. These mines and a tremendous new breakwater and harbor are making Eilat a major city. Be'er Sheva is the capital of the Negev. In this old city, dating back to the time of Abraham and Jacob, there are still many Arabs, as there are in other parts of Israel. A Bedouin market on the outskirts of the city reflects this ancient atmosphere, with bartering and bargaining a part of each transaction. Animals are still the measure of a man's wealth. Camels have survived in this rugged land as the main beasts of burden, because they can go for many days without water. Bedouin tents pepper the Negev, which sustains about 13,000 Bedouins. Be'er Sheva's busy railroad yard makes this city an important link in the Negev. The city of Tel Aviv on the Mediterranean is where the modern state of Israel was first proudly proclaimed. Its busy beaches and luxury hotels reflect the city's rapid development. The end of this boulevard in Tel Aviv, named after the famous family of financiers Rothschild, opens onto Habima Square, Israel's cultural center. In this square are the Frederic Mann Auditorium, the Habima, Israel's national theater, and the Museum for Modern Art, founded by Helena Rubinstein. This is the other side of Tel Aviv, crowded Carmel Market. People mill around the small open stalls loaded with seasonal vegetables and fruit, hand-picking what they want and dickering over prices. Marketing is often a family affair, but can be loads of fun. In Israel, families are close. The family is central. Haifa, the capital of the north, is the second largest city of Israel. Its port, Kishon Harbor, is the nation's biggest and serves the main export-import trade. From one of the main business intersections, a road leads up to some lovely homes on Mount Carmel overlooking the bay, and to this youth center, where many projects help to bring harmony and understanding between Arab and Jew. The center maintains a full program of activities. Nazareth, nestled in the heart of the mountains of Galilee, is the town where Jesus was reared and is most picturesque. Like the donkeys and cars on its main street, the past and the present come together in this historic place. Jerusalem, one of the most ancient cities in the world, is the capital of the nation of Israel. It is the seat of its parliament, its ministries, and the Supreme Court. The Knesset, or Assembly, is the legislative body of government, like our Congress. The Assembly meets here. Located here also are other central government buildings. The Hechal Shlomo Synagogue in the capital is the seat of the chief rabbinate of Israel. This is the religious center of the country. A menorah, Israel's symbol, was given by the British as a token of friendship. On the heights of Mount Zion in Jerusalem stands the building containing the tomb of King David. Large crowds visit this holy place to pay homage to the memory of ancient Israel's first famous king. But while Israel is a Jewish state, there is freedom of religion, as shown by its many churches. The Church of Enunciation in Nazareth, the Franciscan Church of St. John the Baptist, St. Andrew's Scottish Church, the Russian Orthodox Cathedral, the Monastery of the Cross, and many others. This is the headquarters of the General Federation of Labor, called the Histadrut. This union includes the majority of the workers of Israel. Hospitals and clinics are only a part of the many services it offers its members. The Hadassah Hospital in Jerusalem is a symbol of the great contribution of the Hadassah Women's Zionist Organization of America to Israel's welfare. So great is the need, a new elementary school is used before it is even completed. Physical fitness is stressed for the youth of the new nation. The hopes and dreams of Israel are in its healthy, happy, and well-educated youth. This modern secondary school is sponsored by the National Council of Jewish Women of America. It stands adjacent to the new Hebrew University of Jerusalem, which has over 12,000 students. It is one of the most beautiful campuses in the world, built largely through generous aid from friends in America. Its serious-minded students are Israel's future leaders. All available play facilities of the university are in constant use, as youth leaders organize a full recreational program. The YMCA in Jerusalem is considered to be the most beautiful in the world. Here also there is great excitement as crowds converge to watch and cheer the final championship soccer match between the cities of Ramallah and Jerusalem. Soccer is Israel's most popular sport. Wholesome family recreation and participation in such events are an important part of Israeli culture. Art, too, is no stranger in Israel. The new museum, which stands on a hill in Jerusalem, provides a handsome home for many of Israel's art and historical treasures. It attracts large crowds from Israel and around the world. The Billy Rose Art Garden near the museum was a gift from this wealthy man and contains many interesting pieces of sculpture. Israelites take great pride in their new centers of art. In this same area is a shrine housing ancient biblical manuscripts and some of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It is known as the Shrine of the Book. Hotels in Israel are most modern and comfortable, and apartment dwellings such as these over a modern supermarket are springing up everywhere. The tremendous building drive, as evidenced by this scene on the outskirts of Jerusalem, is attempting to keep up with the great population growth. Cranes at work are a common sight in this progressive and forward-looking nation in the Middle East. These new development schemes are vast. Roads to serve these facilities are a must. Many factories also are mushrooming overnight. The Revlon Enterprises, the Helena Rubinstein factory, this rayon plant by the Mediterranean Sea, and another new factory. These are but a few of Israel's expanding industrial facilities. Building materials, hard work, imagination, and strong leadership are helping to create entirely new cities. These new cities, carved out of the bare land by sheer strength and skill, symbolize the fantastic forward thrust of modern Israel. It's science, represented by the Weizmann Institute, famed for its work in nuclear physics and molecular biology, where hundreds of scientists are engaged in research. Its massive orientation, educational, and physical fitness programs. Its amazing agricultural growth, and above all, its people, pouring in a steady stream from around the world, combine to propel the nation forward. Israel, the promised land, is swiftly becoming Israel, the land of promise.